Hello again you guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and today I have a different kind of bolo video for you. So I've been sharing quite a few different bolo. Be on the lookout in case you're wondering what that means. Basically brands that you want to keep your eyes peeled for because they do pretty darn well reselling online. In this video I am going to cover some plus size brands, specifically brands that sell well in those plus sizes that we can all be looking out for. If you're new to this channel, welcome. This is a channel all about reselling online. I personally sell on eBay, Etsy and Poshmark while I am a stay-at-home, work-at-home parent. And on this channel you're going to find everything from haul videos, sales videos, tutorials, tips, day in the life, and all kinds of other cool stuff in between. So if that sounds interesting, please do think about hitting that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to say hello in the comments so that I can say hi back. All right, without further ado, I'm going to take you on over to my laptop and we'll check out some of these cool plus size brands. All right, you guys, so what I'm going to do is basically just take you through these 10 items, plus size brands if you will, and that I personally have spent a little bit of time researching recently, and I just figured I would share them with you. So essentially the tone of this video is I will show you them, I will show you some basic comps of what I have found, and I will show you also, because I got a lot of feedback last time I was on these videos, what the labels look like. Bear in mind that labels can change depending on what is current, what is not, what kind of, whether or not it's higher end in the brand, all kinds of different things, but you can certainly start there. And when I show you this, it gives you sort of an idea of what to look out for really when you're out there sourcing in relation to each brand. And then of course I would encourage you, if this interests you and you want to learn a bit more about plus size brands that may be a good idea to pick up, to sort of take this video and maybe jot down a few of the brands that interest you and go ahead and do some more research on the comps. There's obviously just a little bit more detail than what I'm showing you here, but really it's just a jumping off point for anybody interested. All right. Here we go. So the first one I'm going to mention is Torrid Swim. Most of us know that Torrid is a plus size brand. Those pieces can be somewhat hit or miss. I personally always pick it up if it's fairly cheap because it tends to move fairly quickly, give or take, depending on the style, how current it is. I have, however, had a really good time when it's come to selling their swimwear. It's moved pretty darn quickly for me, so I figured I would show you. So what I've done on Poshmark, haven't included eBay just for the sake of simplicity. I've obviously searched for the item, and then I have down here I've changed it to sold, so I can show you, just like you would when you're researching any kind of comps. And then what I've done is I have changed it price high to low. Bear in mind when that happens, usually that means the items are sort of new with tags, they are rarer items, more sought after, but that's good because it gives you an idea of those kind of, like, I don't know, unicorns, whatever the heck you want to call them, that's out there for each brand. And then sometimes it also involves bundles. So when you're doing your research like this, make sure you're keeping a good close eye on what the content of those listings actually is, so that you're not sort of being fooled, as it were, into thinking things are worth more than they are. So Torrid Swim, you can already get an idea here that there are certain pieces, right? We're seeing some repetition here. This one, I'm assuming, is this one right here. Over $100, they're new with tags, most of them at least. This one doesn't seem to be, but you get the idea there's some repetition, that there are certain pieces out there over and over again that are worth more than others. Ones that have been discontinued, they obviously have kind of like a retro pinup style to them as well, but as we scroll through you can definitely get an idea of what kind of styles of Torrid Swim can absolutely do well. So I'll go ahead and show you just a few of these real quick, and obviously, like I said, encourage you to go ahead and delve a little deeper on whatever platform it is that you're selling on, and see what you can find too. So there we go, Torrid Swim. And I am going to as well show you what the Torrid label looks like, because last time a lot of people said that would be helpful. So there you go, there is the current Torrid label in case you need to know that. All right, onwards. The next one is Ello Queen. I hope I'm saying that right. You can see the word right here, and obviously where I've searched it. I think this is Nordstrom, or Nordstrom Rack. I think Nordstrom. Plus size brand primarily. And obviously you can see here that we have some new with tags and things, but I'm showing you this because I want you to see, again, the type of items. This is Torrid. Again, be careful because sometimes people use keywords that confuse the search. We're seeing a lot of sequins and sparkle. Definitely look out for the shoes. I've noticed that recently because they do make shoes that are also, I suppose you could consider plus size, extra wide, things like that. Here we go, we'll just scroll through a little bit more. Again, we have more sparkle, we have a lot of dresses, some really, I mean, these are beautiful styles. Again, a lot of new with tags and things like that. Obviously, we all know when you find new with tags and it's a good brand, that's usually a good thing. But it's still good to learn a little bit more about some new brands. So there we go. We can definitely see more sparkles. That Torrid swimsuit just snuck right in there. More sparkles, you get the idea. So Ello Queen. And then let me go ahead and show you what that label looks like. There we go. Oh, public service announcement, as it were. So when I was looking to show you guys the labels, I obviously started like right here, like what I have up now, and I went into different listings to just try and find a photograph of the label to show you guys. I swear it took me like 7 or 8 tries to actually find a listing that had a photograph of the label, and not just the label because, you know, that's just a brand or whatever, but also the size tag. So I did want to mention, because why the heck not, that as I sort of noticed that, it's just that please do consider, if you aren't right now in your listings, make sure that you're adding that label, that brand label with the size tag in there. Only because if someone disputes your item after they receive it and they want to return it and they say it's not the size you said it was or whatever, if you don't have that photographed in your listing, the actual size tag of the garment, it can be very hard to sort of challenge and win that case, even if it is the size that you said that it was, and you know that's what was on the label. But if you haven't evidenced it within your listing, that can be a little bit difficult. So just, I figured I would throw that out there in case anybody hadn't heard of that before. You never know. We all learn as we go. Okay, next one is Melissa Mccarthy, and it's a collaboration with 7, which is usually the word 7 and then the letter right after it. I think I'll show you the label anyway in a second. So I did want to show you this. I have sold this brand personally before. I was so surprised by how quickly it sold, and the blouse, I think, was like a heart print, very simple, sold for like $35–40 in a couple of days. Haven't found it since, typical, but I would definitely pick it up again. So I'm going to scroll through. You can obviously take a look at it. Again, bearing in mind, a lot of newer tags. Not everything though. We do have some more like sought after pieces, it seems. We've seen a little bit of repetition, a lot of floral, a lot of denim, that kind of thing. But overall, I have had really good luck with this brand, and I really enjoyed selling it. And I think the pieces are super nice. So there we go. Another one to keep an eye out for. And here is the label. There we go. Don't all look like this, I don't think. Necessarily, but they do all sort of quote her name and then the brand name right here because it's a collaboration. All right, onwards. Next one is J. Jill. So J. Jill plus size historically for me has done far better than the regular J. Jill. If it's a very like on trend or very like lag and look boho type piece, like I'm talking window pane plaid or 100% linen, like boxy cut, just depending on what the style is, essentially I'll still pick it up even if it's like a small or an extra small, but mostly I'm keeping my eye out for that J. Jill that is sort of 1X, 2X, 3X. So as you can see here, there's definitely some variation. You know, we have some medium petites and stuff in here, but we do have quite a few of the like 3X or around that sort of plus size right here. Obviously some coats going on here. See, a bundle, you've got to keep your eyes open. We've got another jacket here. That one's a size small, but then we have more 3X. A lot of extra large and extra large. Extra large, so 4X, extra large, 3X. So J. Jill, that's what I'm saying, keep your eyes open for those plus sizes in that particular brand if you are interested. And here is a picture of that label. Okay, Lane Bryant. Most of us know Lane Bryant. But what I wanted to show you with this one, I wanted to give like an honourable mention because, you know, that's one of the headliner plus size brands I think most of us find wherever we go. If you can find it cheap enough, this is what I wanted to share with you. You can see that some pieces, especially like the very like contemporary pieces or the great fabric contents, leather, cashmere, that kind of thing, do sell quite well depending on size. I usually try to make sure that I'm picking up kind of size 18 and above in Lane Bryant. For me, 14, 16 doesn't move so well. But I've noticed with the higher price sort of listings for this brand, there's a lot of bundles happening. And I kind of wanted to point that out because I honestly hadn't necessarily thought of that too much when it has, unless it's presented to itself to me in a really obvious way. That, you know, when I go to rummage sales, when you go to the bins, whatever, if you do happen to find a lot of items by something like Lane Bryant that you wouldn't usually pick up on an individual basis, but they're the same size or whatever, these bundles seem to be moving pretty darn well. And I've noticed that in quite a, like, look at this. It's crazy. In quite a lot of the plus size brands, I've noticed that as well. So just something to keep your eye out if you are sourcing it in kind of like a mass way, whether it's a rummage sale, the bins or whatever. Maybe do keep your eye out for several of those brands and go ahead and maybe do a little bit of a plus size bundle. Those seem to do quite well when I'm looking at these comps. Oh, and I also wanted to mention as well that Lane Bryant has several different faces. So you can see some of them here. Lularoe, that is like an offshoot of Lane Bryant under the same umbrella. I think either that was a collaboration, one of the two. And then there's another one. Where are you, sneaky thing? Here we go. Here we go, Isabel Toledo. So those are ones that I have seen coming up time and time again in relation to Lane Bryant that seem to do a little bit better in terms of comps. So just something to mention there. But I'm going to show you the basic Lane Bryant tag. This is one of them. There are many different variations out there. I'm not sure if this is the newer one or if this is the one before the newest one. I think this is the one before. But essentially, it's always just like the name. If it has cursive, it's definitely an older piece, but essentially it's always just the text of the name, which is pretty easy to figure out. Okay, next one is Ulla Popkin. Oh, I probably butchered that, but you can see it right up here if you're wondering what I'm trying to say. Again, just a really, really beautiful, like, look at some of these prints. Oh my goodness, so pretty. And yeah, the comps seem to be pretty darn good, seem to be holding steady for like coats and things like that around that $45 to $55. And then obviously some of the like nice fabric contents like silks and things like that also seem to be doing quite well. And I just think this brand looks like the most fun to sell. Like, how beautiful are some of these prints? Really, really gorgeous. So that was a new one to me. So I wanted to go ahead and share that. And then here is at least one of the labels that is available for this brand. Okay, next one. I'm probably going to butcher this as well. Eshakti. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, here's the word. I never said I knew how to pronounce these, just that I knew how to search for them. Okay, so this one as well seemed to be pretty steady in comps, as well as like what is listed and things. Another one just really flattering, really feminine. Seems to have a little bit of a following going on for it as well. It's a new to me brand in terms of I have not found it yet, but I have been on the lookout for a while, just because I have seen recently how those comps are doing. I thought it would be kind of fun to find and sell. Like, how gorgeous is this? And as you can see, the dresses, some of them depending on their condition, if they're new with tags, and depending on the prints and the length and things like that, obviously move around that $65 mark fairly consistently, even used. Okay, and then I'll show you that label. There we go. That's what that looks like. Next one, Chico'S. Okay, so Chico'S is one where, just like J. Jill, if the piece is a really, really nice contemporary style, very on trend, I will pick it up no matter what the size, and it will sell fast for me. If you haven't watched my sales video yet, I don't know if it's coming out before or after this video. Keep your eyes peeled if you're interested. But I sold Chico'S piece that really falls under the umbrella that I just described really, really quickly, just a couple of days. And so that'd be a great example to show you what I mean by like the contemporary Chico'S. But I wanted to put it in here as well because, again, there's plus sizes, which for them is vanity sizing. So like size 3 and above, it's not really plus size, but 3 and above is usually what people look for in Chico'S in terms of reselling. But there are definitely some pieces out there that do pretty well. And again, check out the bundles. Such a good idea, because Chico'S is something just like Lane Bryant. When I find it en masse. It's like it multiplies in the piles when I am at rummage sales. So very, very interesting to go in there thinking about that, I think. This one in particular seems to do quite well. I've seen that a couple of times now. But yes, just another interesting one to keep your eye out if you are looking for some of those plus size pieces. There is the tag. Next one is Talbots, kind of the same thing again, right, that I'm saying, depending on what the pieces are, especially new with tag. Talbots does retail pretty darn high. So I was just going to go ahead and show you like some of these pieces. This is not the same brand. This is a different brand. Just be aware of that. This is what you're looking for right here. But when you get into like the leather jackets and things like that, it definitely seems to do pretty good. And again, with the bundles and things like that, the more contemporary pieces, like you can see here, you're noticing like we have a 3X, you know, all kinds of different stuff. So that is something size 18 that I definitely tend to keep my eyes out for. And when I find Talbots, if it's size 1X and above, and it's a decent style or it's a novelty style or something, have an 18 here, I usually will go ahead and pick it up if the price is right. All right, this is an example of a tag. I'm assuming that the metal tag is higher end because of the piece. However, you can see the text here, and that's exactly what the text looks like on the tag as well. Okay, and the last one I'm going to show you is Lularoe. So Lularoe, we all know there are supposedly like unicorns and stuff out there, which if you scroll through comps, you can definitely see some of the prints that repetitively sell for a lot of money. But what I wanted to point out again is that those plus sizes do still move. Obviously, it depends on the print and things like that. But when you get something like this where you put an outfit together, for instance, in those larger sizes and the print is decent or whatever, I guess if the stars align for Lularoe, I find that it still moves. I personally find, that's why I'm sharing it, is that sort of 2x, 1x, 2x and above tends to move faster for me than anything else. So yeah, I figured I would go ahead and show for you. You can see in these comps here. Now I haven't filtered by size, I've just filtered by price high to low. So when you're seeing these slightly larger sizes repeating in here, that's because those are what are selling fastest within that brand. I hope that that makes sense. I haven't put any size filters on this whatsoever, just to let you know. All right, you guys. So that is all of the pieces that I was going to show you. Let's show you this tag right quick. Lularoe, most of us know what that looks like now. Yeah, and so I hope that that helped. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was an interesting video. Please do let me know down below what are your favorite plus size brands to sell. Do you have any that I didn't hit on? I'm sure you have plenty that I did hit on this video because it was fairly limited. But feel free to share some of those brands down below. Do you have any experience with the ones that I mentioned today? I would love to hear about your real life experience too. Do they actually sell for you? And if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do think about subscribing if you haven't yet already, and I will talk to y'all in the next video. Bye, you guys.